Now, this is actually a continuation of the last class, but because I don't want the video to be too long, that is why I told you that I'm going to teach you class method in 3 parts. The first part was what we did, where we created an instance method and then elevated the instance method to a class method. And then we call the class method here. So even without instantiating, we can call the class method. But after instantiating and we call the class method, this is what we saw. Now, in today's class, what I want to show you is how to actually create the class method directly without creating the instance method, which is inside here. So looking at this, what we do, we've created the class and then we've done this. Now, in this place, I'm just going to introduce something here. So here now is class method decorator. Right? So this is what we are going to look at today. Now, don't forget, if you enjoyed this class, please click on the like button. And I will also want to get your feedback through the comment section. This will help me and it will help the algorithm to push my video wider for more people to see it. Okay? So let's look at this class method. Now, here we are going to do the same thing again. We will create class man, right? And then we will say apple, then we'll assign 0 to it, and then we'll come here and say def, right, init, and then we'll supply self, right, and also give it another name. Then we'll say self dot name, we assign name to it. Then inside it we'll say apple man dot apple, we increment it by 1. Okay, all right, so this is our class that we have created. Then we created a class variable, and then we also created an instance method, which is the init method. And the inside this init method, we also have man.apple increment by 1. That is, we are increasing this variable, this class variable, every time we instantiate this class. Now, what we want to do is to create a class method. So using the class method decorator. So this is what it will actually do. The class method decorator will be a sign like this. We have this sign, and then we'll write class method. Now, what does this mean? This is a decorator. A decorator is a function that takes in another function as an input and then produce another function as an output. That is what a decorator does. So this decorator is going to take a method, right, and then convert. So like what we did in the last class, we took an instance method and then we converted it to what? To a class method. Now, instead of creating the instance method first, before we now pass it to a class method, which is going to convert it to another class method, what we just simply have to do is write this keyword at class method. The interpreter will understand that this is a class method that we want to create. The last time we used woman. Now, instead of that, we'll just do def woman, right? And then inside it, what we want to supply now as the reference, because it's a class method, will no longer be self. This self is an instance variable that reference the object that is going to be created for this class. Now we are creating a class method. So what will be the reference of that class method? It will no longer be self. It will be referencing the class. And we can use this CLS to stand for class. CLS, right? So we are using this now to reference the class. So this one is referencing the object of the class, which is the instance of the class. Why this one is referencing the class directly. So you close this. Here, put this. So you will close this, and then you will come in. Inside this method, all I want to do is just to print out, right? I supply it to my print function. What I just want to print out is, I'll call it a format string, apples eaten. So here I will say CLS dot apple. And then I will close this. Okay. So this is all I want to be inside this class method. So I have created the class method, and this is what I have created inside the class method. So now my class is complete. So my class is from here. Okay, so now I want to instantiate this class by saying the first one, I'll say object one. I'll say man, then I'll supply Adam to it. Then I will close this. Now, object two, I'll say man, and I'll supply if to it, and I'll close it. Now, I have created two objects for this class. So I want to call my class method, which is this one. So I can just come here and I say man dot woman. Then I'll put this in parentheses like this, man dot woman. So what this will simply do is it will come in here. Now, when I created the first object, it came in here, supply this object one to this, supply Adam to this, then supply the Adam to what? Self.name. And then man.apple will increment by one. So this one will become one instead of zero. When I created the second object, the same process went, and this one increased to what? To two. Now, at this point, when I'm calling this man.woman, it's simply going to come in here directly and to print apples eaten. And it will now give me class.apple. And that will give me what? Here will give me two. That is what this is going to do. So man.woman, which is what? This one, I am calling this class method using the class itself. And I can equally use any of these objects to call it. So if I come here and I say object one dot woman, it will also give me two. So this is what I'm going to get. So this using the class method decorator, which is used to create the class method and referencing the class. So with this, I don't even have to instantiate. Now, if I don't instantiate this, I can call this directly, man.woman. But if I call, it's going to print out zero. That's what it's going to print out. Because this will not operate. It will just come here and call, and it will print out zero. But because I've instantiated these classes, this apple has increased to two. So when I'm calling man.woman, it's going to give me two. When I'm also using the object to call this method, it's also going to give me two. So that is what I want to show you in this class using class method decorator. So let's go to the PyCharm and practically see how this works. And after that, in the next class, I will show you how to use this class method decorator as a constructor, doing the same job that this init method will do. Okay, so these are PyCharm. So let's demonstrate what we actually done. And what we did now is what? Upgrading, creating a class method using a decorator. So this was the last class method. So let's just open it. So this was the last class that we did. This was what we wrote. We still have it here. So what we are going to do now is just to create a decorator. Yes, a class method decorator. So what we will do is that we will just simply, uh, I'm going to, what I will just do is using this same script, I will come here and I'll put this, then I'll say class method. So once that is done, this one will change to CLS. This one will change to CLS, and this place will change to CLS.apple, CLS, and then this one will no longer be there. We don't need this anymore. Okay, so this is it. Now, same thing, but in this one now, I'm going to, because there's no count, I'm just going to say man.woman, right? I'm going to call it man.woman. And then this one, I will say man.woman. And then this object one. Okay, so this is it. Now, using this class method decorator, right, we have removed the conversion of the instance method to a class method. We have removed that line. So by this class method, automatically, Python will understand that the next method we are going to create is a class method, and it's going to reference the class instead of referencing the object. So that is what is going to happen here. That's why I changed this reference to CLS instead of what? Instead of the object. So this is referencing this man, woman. This class is referencing this man. Now inside it, I will now say printf the number of apple eating in the garden, class.apple. So I will say man.woman. So this man.woman is just simply going to call this, and then it's going to print this out, and the apple will be what? 0. But once we instantiate it by object 1, we instantiate the first one, it will increment this one to 1. We instantiate it the second time, it will increment this to 2. So man.woman will now print this one to be what? 2. And object 1.woman will also print to be 2. So this one will be 0, 2, 2. So let's execute this again. Okay, yeah, okay, so that is this one. That error is given us is because of this. So this one, we don't need it. All right, so this is this. I'm going to execute this again. So we have number of apple eating in the garden, 0, which is this one. This one is what is giving us that output. Why this one will give us number of apple eating in the garden, 2. Number of apple eating in the garden, 2. So this one, which is exactly this one, is being called after the class has been instantiated twice. So the first instantiation will come in here. Object 1 will be given to self, Adam will be given to name, and then name will be assigned to self.adam, self.name, which will now be Adam. Object 1.name is what? Adam. Then it will now come here and increment this one. Man.apple will increment to what? I'm using this man. This dot notation is used to access this class variable. So I'm increasing the class variable to 1. Then when I create the second object again, same thing will repeat, and I will increase the class variable to what? To 2. Now I am going to call this class method. So by calling this class method, man will be given to this CLS, referencing it to go in, and then to print the number of apple eating in the garden is now what? CLS, which is what? Man.apple. Man.apple will be what? Incrementing this, which is what? 2. And that is what this will give us. Then I'm also using the object class, or the object, which was instantiated, this object 1. I'm using it to call this class method, because this class method is available to what? To also the object to be called. So object 1.woman will also print out 2. That is what I want to show you in this class. So the next class will be what? Using this class method as a constructor. First, I will have to show you that on the board before I will demonstrate it on the PyCharm. So if you like this class, please do not forget to click on the like button. I also need your feedback. Please, I need your feedback so that the algorithm could help push the video to other people. Thank you. See you in the next class.